Gindi Times is our official campus magazine and media body of Anna University. So, shall we start with the interview?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir. It's a great pleasure. So, first of all, how was your experience as Che with Surya sir?
I think for me, because I've been acting for such a long time with theatre, the goal is very simple. Me as an actor, I want to explore different characters. I want to have fun in that process of doing it, and I want to work with good people. And that's exactly where I found myself with Surya. I think he's a very professional, wonderful actor. The idea of him being a superstar dissolves when he gets onto set. It's just a bunch of actors working to make sure that the movie comes out really well. And I think it's not just him. He might be a very important part of the process, but there's also the director, the entire team, the producer, and all of them were driven to make a great film. And when your heart is in the right place, everyone's having a great experience. That was mine as well.
Awesome. So, would you actually prefer hospital clowning or acting in the cinema industry?
Which was very interesting. My point is, all along, what society has been teaching us is you have to choose one thing. Why? Why? Who takes that choice away from you? You can do all of this and you can still be a farmer, right? In fact, at some point in time, I want to go do farming at some point in my life. Right now, I choose to do all of these things, and I don't think I want to ever define myself by the things I do. I feel like I am me, and I can do a whole bunch of things. Today, I choose to do acting and directing and writing because I seem to be good at it. But tomorrow, I want to be able to have the choice to do something else because I believe that we as human beings, we define ourselves, not the work. That's just the whole industrial revolution, capitalism. That's what's taught us. You're an engineer, you're a doctor. We define ourselves by our profession. I think we're bigger than our profession. We're much bigger than our profession, all of us. So I wouldn't choose. I do everything. Some feeds my monetary needs. Some feeds my soul. So for me, hospital clowning feeds my soul. So I would never choose between that and anything else.
So, could you please share some memorable moments at the theatrical set?
At the theatrical set, I think this was my first production as a director. In 2011, I took over the Little Theatre as artistic director, and I was doing something called the International Theatre Festival, which we've been doing for 11 years now. But that was the first time I was directing the festival, and we had other countries coming down and performing to our country. The idea was to make sure that our children in our city had access to top quality productions from different cultures so that you can empathize and understand what other people's cultures are like. And I was directing our production, and I had a very small crew at that point of time, and we were so tight as a crew that we knew if anyone forgot anything on stage, we could still manage. But then we had our ultimate challenge. So the lead actress on stage, she fell down and broke her hand during the first 15 minutes of the show, right? And she's an incredible actress who managed to, even after breaking her hand, which none of the audience knew, she managed to perform an entire dance sequence and all of that and get back on the stage. We saw her hand turn blue, so I said, go to the hospital. So, two actors are on stage, just saying something to the audience, waiting for me to come, they're just filling in the time. And then I entered, and then they said, where's the princess? I said, she's not coming. They said, why? And at that point, we started an improv. You guys know what an improv is, right? The idea of an improv is you have no content, but you create something on stage. And the next 45 minutes was an improvisation. We created a new story on the spot between the actors, the lighting director, the musicians, the music director. All of us were improvising because it was such a tight team. And the play that came out of that had a standing ovation. And we decided that's the script we're going to take. And that was a huge turning point in my life because I started to use improvisation as a huge element in all of my plays.
It's inspiring, sir.
Thank you.
What is your purpose of life? What gives you happiness?
What gives me happiness? So, this is very interesting because one of my biggest inspirations happens to be Muhammad Ali, the boxer, right? And he often said, boxing was not my end game. Boxing was a stage for me to talk about my story, to talk about something bigger. And he combated racism at that point of time, right? And truly, at this point in my life, I'm still discovering what it is that I want to say on that big stage. But right now, what feeds me is, I feel today we need a lot more kindness and empathy and love, and we can spread a lot more positivity between artists, between people. I feel the society is so run down by capitalism at that point in time, which is not a bad thing. But we're forgetting who we are as human beings. And I think our biggest currency, like I said on stage, is just empathy and kindness. And I think it's a much better place than. There's so many things. So many things.
You'll be having a lot of moments to cherish from the set.
Yeah, there are so many beautiful moments. Something that I've always believed in, but I saw it with cinema as well, is when you want to create something, right? It is a marriage between artists. And there is no lesser artist or greater artist. There is a director, there is a music director, there are the actors, and you have all of these artists like lightmen and spot boys and people who bring you food. Without even one of them, everything collapses. A movie and something bigger than yourself comes out only when you work as a group, and only when there's a marriage of all these artists who come together. That's my take on it. That's the wonderful thing about childhood, is that your passion can keep changing, and you can, one day I would find something interesting, the next day I would find something else interesting. What I was engaged in, I was a swimmer when I was a young child, but was that my passion? I don't know, but it taught me a lot of things, and I feel like you have to try so many things to find out what you really want to do. Some of us are lucky enough to find out, oh, this is where I want to be, but I feel like the world is your oyster, right? Do whatever you want, try many things. You don't have to be in a hurry. What's the race? There's no race, right? Do whatever you want, try different things, and then one day you'll land up where you want to be. And I don't know if I really had a passion when I was in my childhood days, but I've always liked to say stories in different ways. I've enjoyed listening to stories and saying stories. And I think that's what we're all doing as musicians or as actors or director, writer. I'm still saying a story. That's all it is.
What impact did martial arts have on your life?
Wow, you did your research. Very, very cool. I'll actually tell you how it has impacted my theatre productions, right? Theatre, at some point of time, theatre is a very local art. It has to connect with the people of the city. At some point of time, my opinion and why I didn't want to go see a theatre when I was in my younger days is because I felt like I couldn't connect to it. There was one person talking about some abstract concept which I didn't understand. And I felt what it really needed was to connect with the local population. It became, from being something local, it became very elitist, because in urban cities, we were following the British tradition of how they did theatre. That's not us, right? So, but in urban India, we still speak English. But then I felt like, let's mix English and Tamil. Let's bring in our culture. Let's bring in our songs. Let's bring in our beats. Every culture has a beat. Africa has a beat. India has a beat. South India has a very specific beat. So, we wanted to infuse music into it. And then, one of the most important things that today, as an entrepreneur, you think about it, you have people who are going to the theatre, battling traffic, and they're going to watch cinema, and they want to see something exciting. But what can be more exciting than seeing live performances on stage? So my idea was, how do we create something that is movie-like on stage? Anything that they see in a film, they should be able to see on stage. And that's where martial arts came in, because I've always loved martial arts, and I love the idea that martial arts is inherently, people think it's violent, right? But you look at a Jackie Chan film, he makes it fun, right? And not many people know that it's a form of clowning that he actually used. He was actually from the theatre, Jackie Chan. And he learned his art from Chinese opera, where they taught him a lot of these fun, using martial arts to create comedy and things like that. So which is what we wanted to use here. We want to take away the violent element and create fun and physicality on stage. And when your body moves and you start using your body, that's the first thing people connect with. Let's say I shake your hand. Before I even say hello, you're looking at me and you're kind of analyzing how I even shook your hand, right? You're sizing me up. That's my first language. Our bodies speak before our words do, which is what martial arts is for me on stage.
Wow, just impressed by the novelty you infused in.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. We're actually extremely happy and privileged that you actually spent so much of time, your valuable time, in giving us an interview. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
It really means a lot.
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Such a pleasure. Thank you. All the best, both of you.
Thank you, sir. All the best for your future interviews.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.